All right. About time I've gotten this guy.
Long overdue.
We've been talking about it for a while. Jeremy Twitch Stenberg. How we doing, bud?
Good. Really good, actually.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down on my tailgate with me.
Always did.
Hanging out in the neighborhood.
Make time for my buds.
Yeah, but I do appreciate you taking time and doing it. What's been going on with you lately?
Been riding a lot. Actually been riding a lot. Just did a Yamaha deal. Myself, Vicky, and Keith. So just got a freestyle bike built 3 days ago and been just hibernating in the backyard, riding, getting the bike set up.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that on the whole package deal type thing. Because there's a lot more that I want to ask about that, but I think it's kind of unique and something cool that you try to do for the people that you care about and the people that are close to you.
Well, I've been talking to Yamaha off and on for the last year and a half, just being at the races, jumping at Supercross, always running into my buddies from there. And one day someone said something like, it'd be sick to see you on the Yamaha. I'm like, it would be sick to see me on the Yamaha. I'm like, I haven't rode for Yamaha since I think the last year I rode for Yamaha was 2009. And I've been on a Cowie ever since then. I rode a Honda for a little bit, but I really didn't like the bike. So I went and bought a Cowie and got back on those. So for me, I don't know. I just thought it'd be cooler as a package deal. And I pitched it to Yamaha. I'm like, why don't you just do a deal with us for all the demos that we do? I'm like, it'd be sick to see all of us on Yamahas out here. And my buddy Mike from Yamaha was like, we might be able to make that happen. And then we started talking just throughout the year. And then finally I think we got something figured out and ended up signing a deal a couple months ago. Been motoing that thing a little bit, but actually stoked to finally starting to ride ramps on it. It honestly is such a fun bike to ride. And for me, it just made, I think just the change made riding fun again for me. It's not like I don't have fun. The only time I ride my bike is to literally go have fun. So when I actually have a bike that makes me want to go ride more, I'm super stoked on it.
Yeah, but don't you think that it also kind of helps that you get to figure out a new bike too?
Yeah.
So it kind of brings that.
That's the funnest thing. I'm back on KYB suspension. I was on Showa. Now I'm on a Yamaha. The settings are so different. And literally the last 3 days, me and Sayers have been okay, let's hit up Jamie from Twisted. We want our bike to feel like this on the bottom, or we want this to happen. Okay, my sag's too low. All right, now the sag's too high. All right, let's drop the fork. So just the littlest things right now has just been making our bikes feel so much better. And I think as of yesterday, I think I got my bike exactly where I want it. But I don't really want to post anything until about January because got a new gear deal too.
Yeah, so, you do got a new gear deal.
You know, so I got a lot of things going on for new year. You know when people are like, new year, new me? That's bullshit. But actually it's a new year and it is a new me.
But you have a lot, so it's actually kind of cool is that and that's something that I wanted to bring up is you do these types of things for your friends. You do things like that for me too. When I first started coming around, you're always super gracious. No, you're good. Hey, I don't cut jack
fucking
from it.
Sanders.
Yeah.
Trying to get the shot for
behind,
DBK.
Yeah. Hey, check my mics too. My mic's going.
Yeah,
we're
level's
recording.
Good,
level's good. All that stuff. Oh yeah, we're dialed. See, it helps. See, I do have a producer. Look at that.
Look at that. He just shows up when he wants to.
I know. He shows up and forgets to put off his ringer. But legitimately, it always seems and I've heard these stories before I actually knew you, is you always cared about the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was it because of how you were treated when you first kind of came into the scene?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I just I wouldn't be in the position I'm in if it wasn't for dudes like Metzger, Chris Rourke, Deegan, Link Algo. All those dudes have helped me out throughout my career. So that I see that as they did it for me. Why shouldn't I do it for people that are in my circle? And my circle, everyone thinks I'm friends with everyone, but my tight circle is my really good friends. You know what I mean? So, and I would want them to do the same thing for me. So I just always try to involve them in everything I'm doing. And for me, it's just, I don't know, it's just funner like that.
Yeah. But that's, I think the pretty cool thing is you don't have to do that kind of stuff. You could just do whatever you wanted to on your own, be on your own little island, all that stuff. And you kind of choose not to.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you still have that mentality of, you know what it's like. You and I come from a similar background of having nothing and making something from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel it's that's a big part of it, you know, and you growing up the way that you did, being able to kind of give back and you're still giving back is something that doesn't go unnoticed.
I think 100%. That's why it's just my upbringing, growing up with nothing and now having stuff. I want to see my friends succeed just as much as I do. It's not fun when you're at the top by yourself. That ain't fun. You know what I mean? I want all my friends to have success. So for me, I always try to surround myself with successful people and people that would do the same thing that I would do for them.
Yeah. Then you could kind of clip people too.
100%.
When it's hey, you know what? I don't really like this part of it. Hey, I don't need to be part of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So When you've kind of first got into freestyle and you were that little young punk teenager, you know, kind of getting into this whole world, did you think you would be a business owner or did you think you'd be a golfer first?
Neither.
Neither, dude. Dude, when you first started golfing, I'm like, there's no way in hell this guy would ever in a million years think that he would be a golfer at some point.
I love golfing. My wife gets mad at me if I try to golf too much. She's like, you ain't retired yet.
But it's like, okay, it's like, you know what? You need those kind of outlets. And like, if all you do is moto, and you love moto, don't get me wrong, but like, you kind of need that stuff.
For me, golfing is like, it's like, I can just be out with my buddies, have a couple drinks, just laughing, not thinking about dirt bikes, like not thinking about business, like nothing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like where I go and relax. And if I'm on like, I want to go play a good course with good grass. I know this shit sounds lame to you guys that don't golf, but and the only reason I literally got into golf is because Scheckler hit me up one year to come play his
Randy? Ryan?
Ryan. Hit me up to come play one of his tournaments. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll put a team together and I'll go play. I played, and I was terrible. But I was like, this shit is so hard. It's so challenging. I'm like, I have to figure this out. Like, not for anyone else, just for myself. So once I like started playing a lot, I started playing with my buddy AJ Cernstrom and Colin Yost. We would play 5 days a week. Like they were one of them was working at GoPro, one of them was Golf Pro at like Cross Creek, and we would just golf all the time. And for me, it's just something that's like fun and relaxing and it's hard as hell. And you could be so happy, so mad, want to throw your clubs in the fucking water, and then be happy again on the next hole. So for me, like all those emotions are super fun to have, and I like to golf.
Do you have a favorite course?
My favorite course for sure is probably Rams Hill out in Borrego Springs out by Ocotillo.
Oh, okay.
Never thought I'd drive out to the desert to go play golf.
Yeah, but you loved it.
Love it.
I don't know if I've ever even seen that.
It's not a lot of people know about that course. It's sick.
Oh. How's business going?
Business is good. Business is really good.
Yeah, fucking owner of a company. I'm being serious when I say that. Is like, it's pretty wild, like where you kind of see where it kind of came from, and I would probably be very upset with myself if I said, how the hell did that start and why did it go away? In a brief, quick summary, why did it go away and why did it come back?
It started because I think like after militia, I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, I'll just start my own company or something like that, you know? And me and my wife did it for about a year out of the garage. Yeah. And it did okay. But I was competing, I was training, like I had a bunch of shit going on where I didn't really have time to like focus on that. So I was like, I'm gonna go take everybody else's money as long as I can. You know what I mean? Straight up, like I didn't want to spend my own money.
You had to make a living.
Like
You have to make a living.
I'm like, I got a mortgage, I got kids, I got shit I gotta pay for. So pretty much just quit doing it for a while. Ended up going riding for Famous for a few years. And towards the end of my Famous contract, they were like, hey, like, what if we license DBK from you and we put you in like all the moto shops and like Tilly's and Zoomies? And I was like, because they wanted to obviously pay me less money on my salary. And
then give you the bump on that.
And I would benefit from that. So started going good, and then it got shelved like 6 months in.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They never gave me a reason. I think it was starting to do better than
and
what they were doing at the time. Yeah, and you know, it's just business. You never know what the hell's going on behind the doors. And shelved it, went and rode for Hostility, and then I quit riding for.
I forgot about Hostility.
I quit riding for Famous for a little bit, and then literally my one of my business partners, Tim Millhouse, the day I left Famous was like every day was like, hey, let's do DBK, let's do DBK. To the point he would call me every single day, dude. I saw your numbers at Tilly's, I saw your numbers at Zoomies, on all your signature line, like. Let's just do DBK, like it'll be good. And I'm like, dude, this dude's paying me a shitload of money right now.
Yeah, and you got to walk away from it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to walk away from that. And the dude from Hostility quit paying me like my normal salary. It was like, oh, sales weren't that good. I'll make up for it next month. And that went on for about 6 months. And finally I was like, fuck this dude. Like, I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go do my own thing. And that's what I called my buddy Tim. I'm like, I'm over relying on all these sponsors for my well-being and my paycheck. I'm like, fuck these dudes. I'm like, let's do DBK. He's like, I'm on my way down.
All in.
The phone, we came down, we figured it out. Fucking, he used to work at Famous.
So he had a little bit of that background.
Yeah, he kind of had that background. Like we kind of got a plan together, and we literally launched the brand on a pre-sale over the weekend. We were supposed to do a pre-sale for like 2 weeks. We did it over the weekend, and we had like 500, 600 orders over the weekend. We're like, holy shit, like we got something here. Yeah. And we literally started the company from that. And now 5 years later, I think we're about 5-year mark. It's crushing.
It's insane, but it's cool. It's cool. Like, I think a lot of people, they want to support they want to know that like they're supporting you like personally, like it's your business. You know what I mean? Like when they're buying something, it's like, hey, I'm buying it from Jeremy. Yeah. I'm buying it from Twitch.
What other brand do you have dudes that are relevant in a sport that you love or you look up to that are packing your orders?
I don't think I
know what I mean?
Any.
Like everyone like has like, I get hit up all the time like from fulfillment companies like, oh, we know how busy you are. Let us take over your brand and we'll run everything. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to put my brand in somebody else's hands that has no clue about my fucking industry. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we'll do your posting on Instagram. I'm like, no, you ain't posting shit. Like, I'm not going to be that dude that pays someone to go post for me because I'm so busy riding a fucking motorcycle when no, I'm not. Like, I'm not that busy. I'm busy, but I have time for everything that I do throughout the day.
I get what you mean.
You know?
But it is pretty cool that like you have buddies it's like that's the same thing that I mean. If you had it where it was owned by like some corporate, I don't know, whoever, that they're owning it, and you hit up some of your buddies, you're like, dude, I need help packing orders. They'd be like, nah, dude, like I'm not.
Pay someone else.
Yeah, like I'm not doing that.
But dude, like right now, holiday season, like the whole Sayers family's been in there helping me. Fucking Kenny Bell will cruise over. Like anyone, like Vicky, Beerman, like if anyone's around, they just stop in and start pulling orders with me.
Yeah, and Wanky's fucking up orders.
Wanky's, I fucked up a couple orders last month before Christmas for sure.
My favorite thing I think didn't you start calling complaint people or something like that? Or like people I
was customer service for a couple days. I would just call everyone like, hey, sorry, we fucked up your order. It's on its way out. And people were like, no way. Like you called me, you know?
But it's like, it's shit like that goes the extra mile and like is farther in like the personal touch that I think a lot of these people enjoy and something that they kind of respect. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Okay, so DBK is going good. New life is going, or 2024, everything is going pretty well. But let's kind of go back a little bit. When we used to see you a lot and doing clips and stuff like that, you usually would be in the hills. Why haven't we seen you in the hills lately?
Literally the last few years, I just been over it.
That's like the number one question that people ask me all the time. Why is he not riding in the hills? And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Ask him. Like
straight up, there's been a lot of fucking donkeys in the hills, and they're trying to like be territorial. Like I built this jump, and fucking I call it this, and why are you out here filming on a cell phone and blah blah blah. Where I'm like, fuck all you guys. Like dudes like that made it not fun for me. Yeah. And honestly, like me and my whole crew, like all the local Richie kids, like those are all my boys. Like we all go shovel jumps, and we get it. But it's like we've put a shovel on every fucking jump out there. So when we're out there digging jumps and dudes show up and they watch us build a jump all day and they keep going trail riding and coming back and then try to ride a jump, that's when we're like, hey,
that's fucked up.
You had the opportunity to help us shovel this jump. Yeah. Like you ain't touching this jump until we're done riding it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, it just wasn't fun anymore. There was just a bunch of dudes out there just being fucking donkeys, and it wasn't fun for me anymore. Like when I go to the hills, I'm going with my buddies to go build something and ride and have fun. And dude, I've been out there a few times. I just don't film shit because I'm over it. Because I'm like, and literally lately, the last couple of years, like every time it rains, I'm like, go build a jump for 7 hours in the hills, or go fucking trail ride and enjoy this good ass dirt.
Yeah, because you ride right from here.
I have the sickest loop from my house. It's like 50 miles. It's like a full tank of gas. Like I get back and we're on fumes, and it's the funnest ride ever. So it's like I've been having more fun trail riding than I have been in the hills.
God,
but
you sound old.
Hanson's been hitting me up, and Axel, when Axel's back from his femur, like he was already hitting me up like, dude, we got to stack clips this winter. So for me, this winter I'll probably be out in the hills a little bit, but at the same time, it's like I'm so busy doing all these shows at Supercross every weekend. During the week, I'm like, I got to go to the shop for a few days. I got to go do orders. I got to do some videos for sponsors. I definitely want to get a day of golf in. I got to hang out with my wife. I got to hang out with my kids. Like,
dude, it's balancing.
There's so much shit going on. And
how have you been able to? Because you have to balance a lot of shit.
Yeah.
How have you been able to do that? That was another question a lot of people want to know. Is like you balance work with riding. That's the number one thing that you have to do. That's your income, right? Along with the business. You know, how have you been able to do that without really, I mean, don't get me wrong, we fuck it up all the time.
Oh, I fuck a lot of shit.
But it's like, realistically, you've been able to do a lot of these different things. Like, what do you think is some of the reasons, especially with the support from Suze and like all that stuff? Like, you need that, right?
Yeah, I just figure it out. She puts me in my place all the time. Like, hey, you ain't hanging out enough, or you ain't doing this, you know what I mean? So it's good having a wife that will call you on your shit, because I need that, because I still act like I'm a little kid, and I'm just like, I want to go hang out with my buddies. I want to go do this, you know? And at the end of the day, like, I got to family to support. I got a business to run. I got fucking sponsors to keep happy.
Yeah.
And then even for myself, like if I don't ride, I get in such a bad mood, and it's like I just need to go ride my dirt bike. Like even my wife will be like, "You're being an asshole. Like you should go ride your bike.
Yeah,
like
go
hang out with your buddies. Go ride your dirt bike. Go do something. You know." So
it is kind of funny that it's the one sport that like we can do or people can do that like literally makes you a better person just from doing something that is so chaotic. You know what I mean?
When I'm on my bike, I don't think about shit.
Nothing.
Like I could be having the worst day. As soon as I get on a track or in the hills or just on the ramp, I'm like, here we go.
It's like as soon as you put the helmet on, it like all the noise, it just stops.
And a lot of people are always like, oh, like why do you have a company called Dirt Bike Kids? I'm a man, I can't wear that shit. I'm like, you obviously don't get the point. Because when I'm on my bike, I feel like a fucking kid. Like I have the biggest grin on my face, and it takes me back, you know? So for me, a lot of people are always wondering like why I named it that. And actually my buddy Daniel Sani was the one that came up with the name
Dirt
Bike Kids. Yeah. He used to sign it on all his jerseys. He would always sign Dirt Bike Kid, Dirt Bike Kid. And I'm like, fuck, that'd be a sick brand one day, you know? And I was talking to him. He's like, I ain't ever gonna do shit. He's like, fucking take the name. He's like, do whatever you want with it.
No
you know?
fucking way.
Yeah, so that's where the name came from, was Daniel Sani.
That's the
when
best.
He was pulling hole shots on all the pro dudes on a privateer bike.
Yeah, I remember that, dude. That was actually pretty legit.
Yeah.
I do. The best logo I think you have is the one you're wearing. The lowercase.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Dude, it's like, I don't know what it is about, and it's just simple, you know, it isn't really too much about it. Have you had to clip some designs that people, the designers and stuff come up with that you're like, I'm not fucking printing that?
Not really.
No.
We all kind of have input on everything that we come out with, and we all go over it. There's some shit that I won't like that I think won't do that good, but I'm not the customer buying everything. You know, sometimes I'll think there's something really fucking cool, and it won't sell anything. It'll be shitty as hell.
But you get a shit ton of it.
But then sometimes I'll look at a logo where I'm like, that sucks, and it will just murder it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
well, I know
so it's
nothing.
like it can't always be my design. It's got to come from Sanders. It's got to come from Tim. Like a lot of the girl shit comes from Sue's. So it's like, and just like we outsource a couple different artists, and then we have an in-house dude, John Chase now. Like he'll just watch the vibe around the shop, and he'll just draw something. We're like, he's like, what do you think? We're like, it's actually fucking cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
rad.
So it's a give or take.
Yeah.
It took 6 months for Jeremy to want to put that logo on.
6 months. So that Sanders
at
was
first
saying,
I hated it, right? I didn't even like it at first.
So Sanders was saying off camera, I don't know if you heard it, but it said basically, or he said 6 months to have the lowercase DBK logo.
Yeah.
To convince you to do that, which is my literal favorite logo that you guys do.
And it's probably one of like the
one of the most
favorites,
popular.
it's
on his beanie, like
it's on everything.
Dude, it's like I'm wearing.
It's just clean, you know, like.
I think it's this one. Oh no, it might be different. Oh, like I'm wearing a DBK shirt. Yeah. But it's my favorite logo. Anytime I print anything or I put like a logo on like my jersey or something like that, it's always that logo.
Yeah, it's just clean.
Yeah, it's just my favorite. I'm bouncing around totally on all this different shit. Okay, so
I understand you get nervous, dude.
Fuck, dude, it's like being around a rock star like you know, like you just
Shit. I'm just a normal dude like everyone else who happens to be decent on a fucking motorcycle. That's it.
But that's what a lot of people, I agree with you. And you're not really that decent. You're kind of shitty, to be honest with you.
Kind of an asshole.
Yeah, you're kind of, and an asshole. So
and
you're not
it's funny too, because everyone's always like, why you talk so much shit? I could never hang out with this fucking guy. I see YouTube comments, oh, you fuck with everyone too much. And Mike, I only fuck with people I like. Like if I don't fuck with you, it means I don't like you.
Well, it's like, dude, you if you can't handle a fucking simple joke, like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like messing with my friends. It's fun. That's what I do.
So the other thing is kind of goes back to like the upbringing and like all that kind of stuff. Like you set out a mission to be the best that you probably could be, and I think that you just wanted to have fun on your dirt bike. Do you have an all-time favorite memory from riding, whether it was X Games medals, probably freestyle, like free riding, all that kind of shit? Do you have anything that like sticks out most to you on any of that stuff?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah. Not at all.
No, all of it, honestly. I think some of the funnest times riding was just growing up riding. Like my dad would take me, when I lived in Spring Valley, it was like super ghetto neighborhood. So my dad would literally try to take me riding every single day. Like he would pick me up from school in his riding gear with tennis shoes on.
Yeah.
Pull up in the front with 3 bikes in the back of the truck and be like, oh, he has a dentist appointment.
Yeah.
And because he couldn't wait for me to get home to go riding. So he would just pick me up and take me riding every single day. And literally that's where it all started for me, because I loved riding BMX growing up. I rode BMX way more than I rode dirt bike because it was more.
That's where I started
it was cheaper.
too.
It was more feasible.
I couldn't afford a dirt bike.
No, my parents didn't have a lot of money. I want to say my very first bike I ever got was probably stolen. My dad and his buddy probably stole it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just how it was. Like we grew up with nothing, and we figured out a way to get what we needed and whatever, you know? But eventually he would just take me riding every single day to keep me out of the neighborhood. And that was like right around the same time like Krusty came out.
Yeah.
And so I was already doing tricks on my BMX bike. So when I seen that, I'm like, fuck, if I could do them on a BMX bike,
You could do
it'd
it
be
here,
easier
yeah.
to do it on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
And my dad would literally just take me around. There was probably, I remember he quit work, and it was probably for like 3 or 4 years, and he literally took me riding every single day for 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
straight. And that's like, I think where I developed and like grew the most of like with riding is just having repetition and just doing it every single day.
So that's your favorite memory, is doing it with your dad?
For sure.
You know, like, and that's some of my best memories is with my dad too. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be into dirt bikes.
No, hell no.
You know, like,
dude, I would be 2, 3 years old and I would be waiting by the window for him every day. He would ride an XR 500 to and from work.
That's so rad.
And as soon as he'd get home from work, I'd be like, where's my Donnie? Where's my Donnie?
Yeah.
And my mom would take me down the stairs, throw me on, and he would take me for a ride around the block.
That's so
Come back,
rad.
and that's all I wanted to do every day.
Yeah, and it created an addiction. And look what the life it created for you.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't have any of this
Yeah.
if it wasn't for my motorcycle. I wouldn't have any of my friends.
Yeah.
Any of my fucking businesses.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
And who knows where
motorcycles.
you'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't for dirt bikes, I would definitely be bad.
That was a question that was another question somebody asked, is if you thought for sure what your job would be if you didn't ride dirt bikes, what would it be?
I'd probably be a drug dealer.
Fucking
It's
A.
what I grew up around, straight up.
Yeah.
Like, it's what I seen in Spring Valley and in Santee. Like, that's my friends' older brothers were doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
An easy path for you to go.
What is it? You're a product of your environment, and that was my environment. You know what I mean? And my dad's seen it, so that's why I think he took me riding all the time, just to keep me away from it. Like I had to, like when I lived in when I first moved to Santee, like I would hang out with my buddy Ralph. He was full on essay, and I got him into BMX. And like the dudes that were like in his gang would get mad at me for taking him away from them to go ride BMX every day. You know what I mean? Like
it's like, no, we don't want you on the bike. We want you dealing drugs.
Yeah,
like,
and like he would always have so much more fun riding BMX than like hanging out with the gang members and shit like that.
That's
and
pretty funny.
I just remember growing up, like I always wanted to be like Jeremy McGrath as a little kid. I would always watch videos of him. Like my dad took me to every single Supercross, and my dudes were always Bradshaw, Phil Lawrence, and McGrath. Those were always like my 3 favorite dudes growing up, you know? And so I'd always just watch videos of McGrath, and I'm like, I want to ride like that. Like he's over the front, he's on his toes, he's doing this. And
you'd watch stuff and try to mimic it.
I'd study tapes of him all the time. And you know, I think that's where a lot of my style came from. And like even growing up riding freestyle, a lot of tricks I could do, but I wouldn't do because I didn't have a good style doing it. And for me, I think style has always been a big part of like what I do, like with the look of my bikes, my gear. Like I won't wear shit unless it matches head to toe. Like
you're like me.
I'm picky about that stuff. Like if you're gonna be old, ride decent, you better look really fucking good.
Look real good. Yeah, that's what my thing is like I grew up not being able to buy shit. So it's like I'm making up for it now.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, damn, dude, you always have to have like the newest stuff. And I'm like, I didn't have nothing growing up. I'm like, so I'm getting everything now. Like everything that I possibly can. It's like my motto is look pro, go slow. You know, like you don't have that. You go fast. Like it's still look pro, go semi-fast. But did you have a moment like where you were kind of coming up in this where you said, oh, fuck, I made it? Like it's like, oh, this is getting fucking real. And like when you're starting to like make money, all that kind of shit.
I was maybe 16, 17.
Fuck, that's young. I didn't think it was going to be that young,
I
dude.
started making money at 15.
Okay.
From SMP, then I ended up riding for Fox.
The baggies.
Yeah, and then I like started getting some decent sponsors. About 16, 17. And I started making decent money, a couple grand a month. I moved out of my house with my buddy Jake and literally would go to Mexico 3 nights a week and just get fucking wasted. Like, stupid. Like, my buddy Radigan, Lopez, Proctor, fucking all my friends that I grew up with in Santee, we would just go to Mexico 3 nights a week and just have the most fun ever. And I was just fucking off. I was barely riding. I was partying a lot. And I remember I didn't ride for a few months, and Adam Pierce came down from Bakersfield and was like, dude, like, let's go ride. And I remember going riding, and I like got on my bike, and I'm like, it's like I forgot how to do it. Like I was like, I was partying so much, I just wasn't really riding. I like was into chicks and just, there was so much shit going on. I'm 17 years old, you know? And I remember the day I rode, I'm like, I fucking suck. And I'm like, I would try to go to tracks, and I'm like, I feel like shit. I'm like, I remember sitting down in my condo, and I'm like, it was my buddy's condo. He gave me a room for free, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, I need to get back on my fucking motorcycle. Like, I'm gonna go start at fucking square one. So I literally started going back to Palm Avenue, where I would go riding with my dad all the day. There's this concrete jump, which was in one of like the first crusties, where I think it's Matasevich or someone doing a nose
Yeah.
wheelie down the concrete
Okay.
ditch.
Yeah, I
so if
remember
you
that.
go up that concrete
Yeah.
ditch, there's a lip, and then it like rolls down and goes down. And that's where I learned a lot of my tricks. So I literally
Just
went out
off that.
back to that jump and started just relearning all my tricks. Fucking hill clickers,
Yeah.
double cans, just stupid shit. Like shit that I've done for years, you know what I mean? And that, I think right there was like, okay, I'm like, I rode there every day for a couple months, and I started feeling it again and got back into it, and then started doing really fucking good again. So I just needed like a reset. Like I thought I was like, oh, I made it. I can fucking
Yeah.
party and look like all
Oh,
these
yeah, I
other
see what
guys.
you're
You know what I
saying.
mean? Like
Yeah,
I thought I made it, so I didn't think I needed to do shit anymore. I was fucking 17 years old, and I
You
thought
didn't give a shit.
I had the
Yeah.
world by the balls.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
so,
you, at that point, shit, for you, you did. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
but
like when you're
went-
17, you know?
it went to my head.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
which I never wanted to have that ever happen.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've never let it go to my head again. Like my whole career of competing, every time I've won a fucking medal, it's gone in a shoebox underneath my bed or
Yeah.
in my closet. Because I never wanted to see that shit when I was
That's
competing.
actually a good point. I've been over here a million times, and I don't think I've ever seen them once.
They're still in my garage in a fucking clear tin.
It's not like you fucking flaunt them and they're out, which I wouldn't blame you if even if you did, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it is kind of cool. Is like it just kind of reminds you to just, hey, I ain't shit.
I never wanted to be
Like-
comfortable. I always acted like I didn't have them, and I had to work harder to get more.
Yeah.
You know, like I would celebrate for a day, and then I'm like the next day I'm like, all right, back to work. There's another contest coming up
Yeah.
that I want to win. So for me, I feel like you have to make mistakes to learn, and that was definitely a learning mistake for me.
Yeah.
Same with business. We fucked up so much shit in the beginning, dude. We bought stuff from China, Pakistan, and it gets here, it's totally different.
You're like, this isn't what I
all
wanted.
right, so we're not doing this.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? But I feel like you need mistakes to learn.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. And then, do you have a favorite X Games medal? Even speaking of not giving a shit about the medals.
My favorite X Games medal is by far my very first one with
Okay.
Summer X05.
Okay.
Backflip, flip whip, no footer to one-handed lander,
Yeah.
beating Pastrana and Nate when they were both winning everything.
Everything.
And I think that right there was like my big confidence booster. I was like, fuck, I beat the baddest dudes in the world when they were the baddest dudes.
Dude, I remember that. Like you kind of going through that phase. I remember seeing you ride and just being like a fan of the sport and being like, dude, Jeremy's like on it right now.
Well, I got my shit together. My chick, Susan, at the
Yeah.
time, was like, you have an opportunity of a lifetime right now.
Yeah.
She's like, you know how many people would die to be in your shoes?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like sitting there and I'm like, fuck, I do have a badass job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that was like a big point, another turning point in my career where I was like, all right, I need to take advantage of this and work my ass off. 'Cause then when I won some money, I'm like, holy shit, I
Yeah.
can win so much money if I do this all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like, wait a second, it opens up like another page.
I
You're
was
like,
definitely motivated by money back then. I wanted dope cars. I wanted a sick house. I wanted fucking a diamond watch. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like stupid shit. Like,
so it was like when you were stopped doing the Adventures of Twitch and Scummy thing, which is one of my favorite eras of you ever.
that was some of the funnest times ever.
Yeah.
Scummy was like my best friend. I still talk to him
Yeah.
once a week. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that was definitely a fun era that I needed to get out of my
Dude,
system.
you created a whole like fashion movement with the bro era.
It was broed
I
out.
was hardcore bro, dude. I was like one of those guys that was sagging my pants, trying to be like you guys, like wearing the bandana, wearing all the shit that you guys wore. And I was like, I look back at it now, I'm like, gee, I'm a fucking idiot, man. I was like, what the hell was I
When I look
doing,
at
dude?
back too, I look at some of the shit I was wearing. My pants were I'm wearing like size like 48 Dickies
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
But
Which I was
it was so dumb.
they
dude.
were super dumb, but it is what it is.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I wouldn't change anything.
No, you
because
got-
all that made me who I am today.
Yeah, dude.
So
But
a lot
it
of
is-
people are always like, "Oh, would you go back and change anything?" I'm like,
No.
"No," because it made me who I am.
I wouldn't either. Like a lot of people, same thing is like, no, I wouldn't change because everything I have right now is because of what I did in the past.
Yep,
You know,
for sure.
But it is pretty cool. And so would you say like one of your favorite people to compete against was like Pastrana and Nate and those guys? Like when you were going through that time?
I think my favorite person to compete against was Nate. Always.
Okay.
Just I remember going to Nate one day too. Like we started riding a lot together, and I'm like, dude, me and you are like the top dudes right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
if we practice together every week, every day, I'm like, when we go to a contest, it's either going to be you or me winning,
Yeah.
nobody else. So we started riding every single day.
And that was even when Pastrana was just dominating.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
But he kind of would like show up or not show up, or
Yeah.
he would be hurt. You know what I mean? So we kind of got a couple gimmies there with him not being around because
it.
regardless whether he won or not, they would make him win
Yeah.
sometimes. But I remember beating him at fucking in 05 or 06 Dude Tour at the first round, and he came up to me. He's like, dude, he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, you won. I'm like, I know.
Oh, yeah,
It's all
you
good
took
though.
it. Yeah.
Judges are judges, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but just that respect from Pastrana, like, dude, like, I didn't win today. Like, you won.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
think
thank you.
self-aware
Thank
of
you
it.
for knowing that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I knew it. I was fucking pissed. But judges are judges, and sometimes
pretty
it's
sweet.
worked to my advantage, and sometimes it hasn't.
Yeah. I had to restart it. My camera shuts off.
You better
Okay.
get a better camera, dude.
Fuck, dude, I don't even
Do it
know
for
why
the
it does
people.
that.
Do it for the people.
Dude, they don't pay my bills. I pay my own bills, dude. Like, it's fucking
Well,
hard.
let's do some sponsors for the show, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the big boss, I think, is rolling up right now.
Oh, the boss is home.
Yeah, Susie's home. We really got to hurry up this. But all right, so it's pretty cool to walk down the memory lane stuff. Let's talk current moto stuff. Who's taking A1?
Who's taking A1, man?
Tell me. I need a top 3 right now. I need it. You can't sit here and think about it for a minute.
Top 3?
Top 3.
I'm going Tomac,
Okay.
Jet Lawrence, and Roxon. Those are my top 3.
Yeah, in any specific order or in that order?
Those are the dudes that I
Okay.
think are going to be my top 3 dudes.
All right. I don't disagree with you fully. I think Jet's going to win it, and I think he might go undefeated in Supercross. That might be my dumb hot take.
I'll bet you $1,000 he does.
No, I don't have that much money. I'll bet you $1.
That's a Pastrana. At least do
$2. I bet you $2.
Yeah.
I should have bet you $4.20. That's what I
Yes.
should have. Yeah. But what's your opinion on the state of the sport right now and racing, and like where do you think it's at right now?
I honestly think the 450 class is at an all-time high right now. You have
yeah.
so many dudes that are like literally every single dude in the top 15 can win the race.
Oh yeah.
You think about it?
You think about the people that are going to be in the LCQ.
Yeah, it's
Like-
gnarly. A lot of dudes ain't making mains this year.
Yeah, dude.
But I think racing's, dude, it's literally probably at the highest peak right now. Like just with how much talent is in the 450 class right now, it's insane.
Yeah. Do you think Eli will come back and win it?
I think he'll come back. I think he'll win.
He's
some
got that
races for
old
sure.
man dad strength in him now.
Dude, you see how badass he was riding before?
Yeah, he
got
was
hurt?
riding pretty damn well.
And he didn't even crash.
Yeah.
It was just a stupid fucking ankle too far back, just extended too much and
Being
ripping
old.
Achilles. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't even think it's that because I've seen Seth do the same thing and rip his Achilles in half. He literally jumped and barely came up short, and his foot was just on the back of the peg and just bent down.
Yeah.
And just ripped his Achilles in
Ah,
half.
shit.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything with doing old. If anything, that motherfucker's seasoned and ready to go.
All right. And then, so what events do you have coming up? You're going to do some Supercross?
I think we're jumping out like quite a few rounds of Supercross. Hopefully got some stuff going with Moto America, and then for NHRA too. So
Yeah. Ooh,
gonna
yeah.
have a busy schedule this year. Me and Sayers. Sayers will keep me busy for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Have you ever driven drag racing stuff?
Nope.
No, any of that?
Nope.
Have you ever done Baja? Would
Nope.
you ever do Baja?
Nope.
Yeah, this is your truck era. I didn't even get to ask you about the truck era.
Short course is fun as hell,
Yeah.
but I don't want to go sit in a truck for 1,000 miles.
A lot of people want me to go out down and do Baja stuff, and I'm like, I have no interest in it whatsoever.
Baja's sick. It's fun, but I wouldn't want to race it. I'll go jump in a helicopter and watch my buddies race it. It'd be way funner.
Yeah, hell yeah, it would be. All right, so going back to the racing. See, I bounce around like all over the place.
You're good,
What,
dude.
250s?
250?
Yeah.
I think Shimoda's going to be good
I
this
do
year
too.
on the Honda.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Ryder D.
Yeah.
I think he was figuring it out at the end of last season. I think he's going to be really good on the gas this year. I've seen him up there a couple times riding.
Yeah.
You got Juju. He looks really good
Yeah,
right
Juju
now.
looks solid
He
right
looks really
now.
good. He's training
Yeah.
with Millsaps right now, so
Yeah.
Millsaps ain't going to let any of his dudes slack.
Juju looks like Muskin to me.
He rides really well.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of talent
There
in the
is.
lights class too.
You have and you didn't even
You have all
you
the
didn't
PC
even,
boys.
You didn't even name probably the one that everybody's thinking, Danger Boy.
Oh yeah.
Even on East Coast, even though he's probably riding East Coast.
Is
we
he
don't
riding
know
East?
Dude, nobody knows. People are super weird about the whole 250 thing.
If he doesn't get hurt, he'll probably win a championship
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
I agree.
He has that dog in him.
Yeah,
You've
he
seen it
does.
last year, and like, you know,
The-
he was raised right. Like he works for it. So it's
I think
cool to see.
RJ has a good opportunity
I
too.
would love to see RJ win
Yeah, I
races.
would too.
I'm a huge fan of RJ.
He's a solid guy.
Yeah,
like
he's
super
dope.
solid. Like it's like good to know him and like talk to him and stuff like that. He seems super motivated. But I wouldn't be shocked like seeing. I think Shimoda takes West Coast, and then if Danger Boy takes the East, I think he'll win the championship in the East, and I think he'll beat Shimoda on the shootouts. I don't know if anybody's going to touch him.
I just think his intensity level
Yeah.
is way higher than Shimoda's. Like Shimoda would be badass if someone would like piss him off.
Light
before
up
every
a
race.
fire under his ass. Yeah.
He's
He
just
even admitted it to me
he's
on
just
this.
really mellow. He's really
Yeah.
just a mellow dude, but
Yeah.
his riding's really freaking good.
He admitted it to me when I interviewed him, and he said that he rides better when he kind of rides pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, dude, just
Same
have
with
somebody
Craig.
slap you.
Same with Craig when he was
Yeah.
riding for Star. There were some times you would see him get past where you're like, dude, like if he was just pissed, he would like that wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it's just, yeah, he's just he's a mellow dude too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Craig this year. Mookie, like
Mookie too. I love watching
Mookie's
Mookie
been
ride.
off for a while, and he was looking good before he hurt his knee.
Yeah.
So it's just, dude, the
I want to see
class and
Faulkner
the
do
450
well.
class, yeah, Faulkner, like
McAdoo,
it's so
like,
stacked.
dude, you keep naming people, and you're like,
Because
damn, I
I'm
forgot.
like thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, what
But you
about this
forget,
dude? What about this dude?
you know?
Like, so yeah, this year's gonna be good. I can't wait. I'm a fan. I love going to the races. I love walking around, looking at the pits. Like,
Dude, it sucks being around you at Supercross.
You're
Because
telling me?
everybody and their mom, dude, is like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, just like, give me a second. I can only imagine what it's like being for you.
yeah,
But like, you gotta
well,
I mean,
it's my job.
Yeah,
It's what I signed up for. I love it at the same time. But at the same time, sometimes I want to be a fan and I want to go walk through the pits.
Yeah.
I want to go walk through the pits with my family, and like my daughter, Savvy, she wants to go look at certain bikes, certain
and it's hard to
dudes,
get
like,
there.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I'm a fan and I would like to go enjoy Supercross too. So I try to go down on Fridays now and like go walk through the pits and like get my lanyards and go cruise.
So you don't have to like do it as much. You could just kind of focus on what
or
you
I'll
want to do.
try to get into the pits like when they're closing.
Oh yeah.
So it's not as bad. Like if I get there early, it just depends like if we're riding shows or not. But I remember a couple times last year, I didn't even show up till the races started. I was like, I'm like, I want to go watch the race. Like,
Didn't you leave Paula once before like it finished or something? Or there was something I texted you and you left Supercross before the main or something like that. And I was texting you if you were still there. I don't know.
Yeah, I got home to watch it on TV.
Yeah. That's what it was.
It was cold.
Oh, it was the freestyle demo in San Diego.
Yeah, I rode, and then I was like looking at the weather, and I'm like, it's freezing already. I'm like, I'll be home before the first heat race.
Yeah.
And my wife ordered a bunch of Italian food. We got to the house.
Like I'm out.
And rewound the race like 10 minutes and watched the whole thing from the couch.
That's what
I
it
had
was.
my own personal suite, and I could do whatever I wanted.
Dude, it's true. But now it's like starting even earlier. Now it's at 5 p.m.
Are they?
Yeah.
Sweet.
All the races are all
Then I'll
earlier
miss
now.
traffic coming home and
Yeah,
watch the whole race.
but that might mean you have to do your shows earlier.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't care.
I don't know either.
Dude,
but
I'm up every day like 4:45.
yeah, you
5
are
in
with
the
your
morning.
little motivational post from your backyard.
It's nice, dude. Drink some coffee, look at a good view.
Well, and you
ready
get
for
the
day.
sunrise coming up too.
Every day.
All right, last question. Who's your favorite? Two questions. Who's your favorite person to smoke with, and could you outsmoke Willie Nelson? That was such a random thing.
I heard no one can outsmoke Willie Nelson.
That's what I heard
so that's
too.
a no.
You ever smoke with Snoop?
Nope.
Oh, that'd be up there.
Not yet. I said my favorite person to smoke with? Bierman.
Yeah.
He's funny as hell.
Yeah.
That's
All
my
right.
dog.
All right, so you have a ton of things exciting coming up. You're gonna drop some news here soon. That's gonna be pretty damn cool.
Stoked.
I'm excited for you on that. I'm excited to see you on the Yamaha. You look good on it.
I've
You know,
gotten
look
2 days
comfortable.
on it, and literally the first day I did, and I haven't ridden freestyle in 2.5 months.
Yeah, and
because
you
I've been waiting for these bikes. And my first day, I did just about every trick I could do, and I feel really good on it.
Yeah, well, back to exciting things in 2024, but
Having fun.
all right, we'll end it there. Thanks for sitting down with me. You're going to be $2 lighter in about, what is it? When does the season end? 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take $2 from you, and it can't be in pennies. It can't be in coins. Any of that shit. It's 2 fresh dollar bills.
I'm gonna give it to you in pesos.
Fuck. Yeah, I guess. No, I said dollars. We said dollars, so it has to be dollars.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Figure it out.
But thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for sitting down with me. I know it's been a long time coming, but happy for you, excited for you, and I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Get this dude some sponsors so we can do more of them.
Dude, that was such a weird ass little handshake. That's a weird.
went like
That's
this.
the most awkward thing ever. Whenever I finish these things, I never know what to do. But thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Have a good one.
There you go. Done.